Привет из Сингапура. С вами передача «ГолубьМира», где разбираем крутые навыки. Спрашиваем на английском, отвечаем на русском. Подтягивайте язык или смотрите перевод в тайм-кодах. Let's talk about first aid and let's start with the definition.
First aid in Russian it would be первая помощь, and there is no chance for me to talk in English, so I will often switch to Russian. First aid is the knowledge and ability of the person to help others when they, for example, got to car accident, or maybe have a sunburn, or maybe they have обморожение.
Frozen.
Maybe they got frozen and some else. Maybe they were bite by wild animals like snake or maybe some others. And it very necessary knowledge for even for modern people, because if you are going on the concrete in the city, you have almost zero danger level. But if you are going to the forest or in the bush, you could meet some wild creatures.
Well, obviously, there might be different types of the situations and maybe a different types of the environments or maybe a different context of where exactly the accident happened. So with all of that, we will try to touch barely the fundamentals of what exactly makes the first aid efficient and what it might be consisting of.
Let's talk about an environment. Environment could be hot or quite warm, and it could be cold. If it is hot, or and for example, you will use жгут,
Probably bandage.
you will use a bandage to stop bleeding. You couldn't use it for very long in the cold time of the year because your конечность,
Body part.
body part could goes to die. Another way, sometime you will get danger close to the machines. For example, there are some, допустим, капает бензин или еще какие-то есть опасные жидкости, или там есть опасность возгорания. Это один вид поведения. Другое поведение, если вы застряли во льдах или это какой-то там серьезный лес, и, например, вы там зацепились и где-то там повисли, потому что там серьезные курумы или там какие-то лианы. И третий вид опасности – это когда вы атакованы какими-то малыми субстанциями, и вы точно не знаете, что это такое. Это могут быть малые рыбки, это могут быть там какие-то пчелы, это могут быть мухи, которые sometimes could be like a dead weapon.
And in terms of the skills of the person who could actually help with if there is an accident happens, obviously there might be like a different levels of mastery, and maybe I actually would wonder to not only learn about the levels of mastery, but maybe the areas of where exactly someone can provide the help or something where it will be really required to call the doctor.
First, you should understand, is it worth to touch some person who is damaged or not? Because if you will fail, you will be accused by a criminal court. So if even you are a doctor, but not a doctor of the first aid, you should think twice. Yes, for sure, if there are some evidence of danger for a life, and there are есть острая необходимость предпринять действия, there are several rules. Первое – это необходимо убедиться в том, что вам ничего не угрожает. Потому что если вы будете пытаться спасать кого-то там изо льда или там вытаскивать от доменной печи и тоже пострадаете, два трупа, к сожалению, хуже, чем один. Вторая вещь состоит в том, что некоторые виды травм, они не допускают каких-то серьезных перемещений. Многие говорят, нужно вытащить человека на свежий воздух, там, вытянуть ему руки, ноги, там, начать бандаж привязывать. К сожалению, не всегда это можно делать, иногда лучше человека не трогать, особенно если это касается повреждений спины или, скажем, основания шеи. Но и третья вещь – это, вот, к сожалению, многие народные советы, они не работают, там, типа растирать снегом лицо или там пописать на рану. Вот эти вот все вещи, которые нам рассказывали бабушки, может, они и хороши в маленьком детстве, да, когда мы не играем со старшими братьями и сестрами. Возможно, они даже отвлекают. Может быть, there's some kind of rituals which will make our life more easy. Да? А вот в случае в реальной жизни, конечно же, этого делать нельзя. Только серьезное лечение. И мало того, был период, когда разделяли первую помощь, неотложную помощь и медицинскую помощь. А сейчас называют первая скорая или там первая неотложная помощь.
That's right. It actually rings a bell because, like in my childhood, I also got this some sort of like a rituals when you need to pee on the wound, or maybe like for example, you cut yourself and you need to look into the dusty forest and get this like a dusty grass to put into your fresh wound so that it probably could stop the bleeding. But when it comes to before we talk about all of the possible mistakes and cause of them, obviously there might be some sort of equipment that all of the people potentially might be carrying with them, which could facilitate the process of providing the help. So a couple of words here, like what exactly they might be having and what is the must to carry with you on the different situations.
If you are going to the forest or to the desert or some ocean vacation, you should carry some small medical box with you, and there should be several things. First, it should be like a bandage. We have already talked about it with Maxim. There's a special stripe. Usually, it is rubber made to stripe all over the body part to press the blood not to go out of your body. Second, it may be funny, but it could be condom. You could cut it, and when you have wounded arm or leg, you should put a bandage, and then you put condom, and it will not wet, it will not не позволит грязи попадать in fresh wound. And third, there is several kind of medicine, of pills, like against temperature, against blood pressure, and against poisoning.
And when it comes to things that people actually could be doing wrong and doing even more damage, what are the things that should be avoided? What are the things that people should be aware so that, you know, like when they do something, it's not really critical for someone else?
I will tell several cases from my practice. When you live on some territory, you should ask doctors if there are any need to make some kind of vaccination about клещ or some worms or some other small creatures which are harmful for our health. Second, never play even with own dogs. For example, there is a case, I was in Latvia, and there was a house of my friend. He is a Russian oligarch, and he owned several dogs, well-trained dogs, but one drunk woman trying to play with these dogs, and suddenly this dog catch her face. And yes, there was a lot of money, and there are of possibilities, but anyway, she always will carry on her face some scars, scars, correct?
Some scars.
Some scars. And third, never eat food without local people. It could be berries, it could be mushrooms, it could be even some small birds.
And when it comes to actually some sort of recognition or maybe the training, are there like any international certifications or the procedures that you need to go through in order to become a qualified person? Because I do believe at certain cases you may want to, you know, tell, let's say, the flight attendants that you actually can do some sort of stuff. Or maybe you, for example, in Singapore, there is a program called First Responder program where you can pass the certification, go into the app, register yourself so that if there is any case, they actually can call you and you can, you know, like go ahead and help with the situation before the emergency or paramedic team will arrive.
Yes, there are several. Even today, I got a message from one of our pupil, Ilya Kuklin. He finished the rescue diver. I also have this certification, and there are several certificates in this program. First, you should know how to work with defibrillator.
Need to think about it. It's
Okay.
actually defibrillator.
Maybe it is a special equipment. You put two clammers on the chest of the person, and there are some stream going in it, and maybe you will make the person alive. Second, you should know how to make breathing. I don't know how to say it. Mouth to nose breathing, or mouth to mouth.
Yeah, exhale, inhaling.
Yes, correct. And last one, you could make also artificial exhaling, вот как бы реанимационные действия, с помощью которых вы возобновляете движение сердца. At least three parts of this program each diver who is going to be rescue diver should pass. And it is not easy because you will face not the real people, but special dolls. And if you will make it wrong or in the wrong place, these dolls will give you not a big amount of marks and you will not pass exam.
And actually, with all of the advancement of the technologies, how the future of first aid may look like. For example, we might be carrying some sort of like a devices, or maybe there might be even the cameras that actually could detect whether someone has like a stroke or maybe cardiac arrest. Or, for example, and it's like a super futuristic. There was a one game where, for example, if you put security for yourself, like you put certain amount of money, if something happens with you, you get like a wounded or you get like a hurt, there will be a special little spaceship coming around, surrounding the area, and actually this team will extract you from this place and bring you to the clinic. So how the future will look like?
You know, this was starting from the medical bracelet, and there were several of them, like Jabon and so on. And now we have smartwatch from Apple. If you will fall down and you will lay in without any response for more than 1 minute, it would be a call to telephone number 911. But do we'll have another equipment to help ourselves? I doubt it, because, for example, if you will even wear it all the time, you will not go in hammam, you will not go to the swimming pool with this. So sometimes you will be fragile, and you should care about yourself.
And the last question will be how knowing about the first aid could help to make this world a better place.
When I was in China, when I was in India, I was working on the projects. I was watching local TV. Yes, I don't know the language, but I could see the images. And once a month, it was a TV show or maybe some advertisement in which one man or will help to another man with some stroke or some bleeding, and it was very powerful. So do not do not pass the people who will need your help. And also the same thing as you told us, there are also some programs in China and India you could enroll and you could make education certification, and yes, you could be summoned if something will happen, for example, like an earthquake or some technical disaster.
Всегда будьте готовы помочь своему ближнему. А мы рассмотрели навык «Первая помощь» и чем он полезен именно вам. Всем мира!